In my previous videos, I demonstrated how to apply for the KRA Tax Amnesty if you have principal tax, including the 1 shillings payment method for taxpayers with penalties and interests only. Today, I'll show you the next important step, how to confirm that the tax amnesty has actually been applied to your account using your iTax ledger. For an individual taxpayer, once you have logged into your iTax, you'll go to My Ledger and then select General Ledger Report. Under Tax Head, you choose Income Tax Resident Individual and then click Show Ledger. If under the Transaction Type column, you can see different columns here. Under the Transaction Type column, you'll see Penalty with the amount of penalty reflected on the debit side. For example, in my case, you'll see 2,000 shillings. So it means, in this scenario, it simply means the tax amnesty has not yet been applied to your account. This is in a scenario you have not paid the 1 bob shillings and you're still waiting for KRA to do the automatic transaction or the automatic application of the tax amnesty. Another scenario, if you paid or made a payment of 1 bob, you will see under penalty or under the transaction type column, you will see penalty and then you'll see an amount of 1 bob on the debit side. Then under the same transaction type column, utaona payment transaction. So you'll see a payment of 1 bob on the credit side. Simply means you generated an e-slip of 1 bob that was on debit side and then it was paid and reflected on the credit side, meaning your payment of 1 bob has been successful. So this confirms that your tax amnesty has been applied successfully. The next scenario, those are 3 scenarios now. If you do not or did not make any 1 bob shillings, because KRA applied the tax amnesty automatically, the ledger will look different. So under the same transaction type column, you will see penalty and then you will see an amount of 0 on both the credit side and the debit side. So this also confirms that your tax amnesty has been applied successfully. So for all the years you had not filed and you got a penalty, now in this case it becomes 0. So whether your ledger shows the 1 payment bob, the 1 bob on both penalty and payment as the transaction type column, on the debit and the credit side, all it shows 0 as the previous scenario have indicated. In those 2 cases, they indicate that your tax amnesty has been successfully applied, and then you can apply for a tax compliance just to confirm that your account is in order. So if you're dealing with a company, the process is exactly the same. The only difference is the tax obligation you select. Under tax head or the subhead, you will choose income tax company if you're confirming amnesty for corporate income tax. If you are checking a different tax obligation, simply select the relevant tax head from the list. Once you have selected the appropriate tax head, click on Show Ledger, and the rest of the interpretation is exactly the same as an individual. So whether you see 1 bob penalty and payment entries or 0 value penalty entries, both indicate that the tax amnesty has been successfully applied. Finally, if you want to confirm that you are fully compliant with KRA, you can apply for a tax compliance certificate. So from the iTax menu, you go to Certificates and select Apply for Tax Compliance Certificate. You will see this notification, then click OK to proceed. Under the reason for application, you select the option that best matches your reason for applying. You can see there are different reasons here. In my case, I have selected confirmation of compliance status, and then you click on submit. If your account is compliant, your tax compliance certificate will be generated immediately. So simply click here to download it. The certificate is valid for 1 year from the date of issue. You can see even the expiry date. So if you are applying for a company, remember that eTIMS registration is mandatory. So if the company is not registered for eTIMS, you may receive a notification like this one when applying for a tax compliance certificate. In this case, you will first need to register for eTIMS. After registration, allow a few days for KRA to update your records and then apply for a tax compliance certificate again. I hope this video has helped you to understand how to confirm that your tax amnesty has been applied by the Kenya Revenue Authority and how to obtain your tax compliance certificate. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and share it with someone who may benefit from it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.